I don't know. I don't know if I like that one, but let's do it. Oh, welcome back to Four Letter Nerd, a Hyrule Geekings Unlimited production. This is your host, Pure Mayhem, Sexy Mayhem, as I'm called now. Uh, big shout out to Rasengan for the great intro. You're doing your thing. Today, we got a great show for you guys. We're going to go over the MCU's villains. I know we've been gone for a little bit, but we had a great Comic-Con. We'll definitely link you to some of the activities we've been doing on our website. You definitely want to check it out. But in the meantime, I got to bring the people in. Got to bring in the host with the most. First up, hailing from the X-Men universe, of course, it's our fearless leader, Cyclops.
Optic blast.
I hate you so much. And of course, we can't have a fully functioning team without the head Mr. Xavier. What's going on, Mr. Xavier?
I feel like this will be a good show.
And of course, the eye candy, the Omega, the lovely that is, Jean Grey.
Oh, yay. I would have thought you'd go with Rogue, but sure.
At least Psylocke, you know.
I was going for one of the originals, okay? That's what I was going with for.
So
you go with Jean Grey.
I'm here for
Jean
it.
Grey was the most badass of them all. Just saying.
See?
Yeah.
Omega level, mutant.
See, I thought Rogue because of the streak in my hair, but I didn't know he was naming us after people anyway, so it's all good. It's all good.
All right, that's right. Biggie.
Although, I just have to interject. I know you introduced him as Cyclops, but I really think Powerline was the very first thing I thought.
Oh my God, yes.
No, yes, you did.
And baby, love is the reason why.
For the first time ever, we're seeing things eye to eye.
I know this isn't about me, but I want to be that backup singer for the first time.
First of all, that role was custom made for me. You're not taking it.
I still want to try to bring that man to a convention.
Yes.
So bad, but I heard he will not do a convention unless it's something like 90s based or like early 2000 when his era was. He doesn't want to be at a convention because he doesn't want to be known as like a one-hit wonder for that song.
Oh, it's Heaven Campbell?
Yeah. So I'm working on it.
He was also on the Prince soundtrack.
Yeah, but I don't care about that. I only care about him for a goofy movie.
Damn. I used to love Round and Round. Oh.
It was a good jam.
So first of all, before we go into today's show, how was the Colorado Con? How was everything, guys?
Yo, badass.
We came in to work it. Reggie came in to sell. Then he was made to work. Michael got upgraded to a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I made the Jumbotron.
I sat
at a table at Gate C for the vast majority of it.
What's so Reggie, I think this is what your first Comic-Con that you've hosted or you've actually participated in?
Yes.
Yeah, you vended. How was that for you?
It was good. For the boss, a little less so. Her did get to her, but we were okay.
Be nice, Rose.
Our booth neighbors were awesome. We actually had
who was your birth neighbor?
Booth?
To your left.
Booth?
Yes, who was your booth neighbor to the left?
I don't know, somebody named Marsden. Some Marsden guy. Did some voice acting, you know.
By any chance, the voice of Max from a Goofy movie?
Maybe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I found out he also did the voice of Gavin from Gummy Bears.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
I got blown away by that, so now I'm on the hunt for a Gavin pop to try to get it signed.
That feels like it's too far apart for him to have done the voice of
That was actually his
Was
first,
he born for that?
That was his first role in Disney, was Gavin from Gummy Bears.
Great, now that theme song is stuck in my freaking head.
Bears.
Maybe that's why he doesn't tell everyone, because he doesn't want everyone singing the Gummy Bear theme song to him.
I gotta imagine that would be
If he
mad
looks-
annoying.
Yeah, he probably look at you like, "Are you out of your mind right now? Are you out of your mind with this? Just give me the
Yes.
damn thing. Let me sign it."
Yes. But I do know one thing for sure. He is not the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Did you
At
ask
all.
him if he was?
Someone did, and that's technically how they got his autograph.
Oh, that was a boss lady thing?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Yeah. She's like, I love Salem and Salem this and Salem. And you saw him look over, and I'm like, I don't think I don't think he's Salem. He's like, and he just had to go and break it down for her, and she felt so bad. And he thought it was so funny, he literally signed it to Mia, not Salem. Marsden.
That's
I
something
just
he would
have
do.
to say something like James Marsden. Is it James? Yes, it's James.
Yes.
Jason Marsden.
Jason Marsden.
He has, I just looked it up, 223 credits on his
Yep.
IMDb.
Jeez.
That is living the dream. That is the kind of career that I would want if I ever
God, yes.
got into like acting. He's under the radar, can live his life, and yet he's in literally everything.
And you can tell people not Salem.
Yeah,
You got to put that on his poster next year.
yeah, right.
There you go.
I'm gonna sneak in there, put a little sticker, not Salem. I might do that at Rhode Island just to mess with them.
There you go. There you go.
Listen, guys, if you want to check out more shenanigans that these guys have gotten into that I wasn't a part of, just check out some of the great comics that are being offered. Type in the link below, the Hyrule Geeks Unlimited, and you'll definitely see that. We're going to go ahead and move forward because we got a great list.
It was exclusive only at Colorado. Can only get at Colorado. I'm looking forward to number 2. I can't wait for number 2. This is actually a really good read. I enjoyed it.
All right, nice. So with that being said, who wants to go first to share their pick? Today we're doing MCU villains and why we thought our top 3 were the best.
There you go. Because I just want to upset everybody at the start of the show.
All
That's
right.
I want to go first.
So Cyclops, you're going first is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Amazing. Let's go over to Cyclops. Cyclops.
All right, take it away. Hello. Hello. Welcome. I am the Boy Scout Cyclops. Please let me show you my top villains of the MCU.
Why are you talking so automated though? Like
Have you not seen
he's a human being.
I was waiting for him to like pause for a second before, like, you know, like when they do the newscasting, like, hello.
Next at 11.
He missed it.
That's how he's portrayed as the stoic Boy Scout every time you see him acted out, except for the X-Men movies.
Okay, fair enough.
But fair enough. But of course, this is my number 1 because, well, it's Njidaka. He's got to be my number 1. I can't help it. So he's a villain, and he's my number 1 because he literally was fighting for something that, granted, he went about it the wrong way. He was trying to fight for something for the people that looked like him. That was his whole thing. He's like, there's a whole world of people out there that look like us, that are suffering, do stuff they shouldn't have to. And we got the technology and power to help them out.
That is true.
Granted, you shouldn't try to send them all to war against the countries that they're in. That part's a little iffy. But other than that, his heart was in the right spot. He wanted to help everyone that looked like him. Like, you know, he's like, look, we shouldn't be having to struggle like this at all. Like, why? We got this country right here. You're the richest country on the continent or on the planet. You got the most technology on the planet. Why are we not doing more? He went about it the wrong way, yes. But the main theme of what he wanted to do was there. So even though he was a villain, he's a villain I could identify with and I could get behind. And I'm like, hey, if I came up just a little bit rougher, I'd be like, yo, I'm down with this Killmonger dude. I'm ready to wreck stuff. Let's do this. I'm going to get mine right now. Let's go. Killmonger for life. Let's go.
Can you imagine Reggie and like Eric Killmonger's camp? Like, yeah, let's go for it. But also, can we have a little bit more snacks? The vending machine ran out. No more pretzels. I got an allergy to peanuts. You
I can
know,
look at him like, hey, here's a Snickers. Why? You got a little homicidal when you're hungry. Just saying. All right, you don't like Snickers? All right, I got a Mars bar back here. 3
oh
Musketeers.
my
What do you
god,
want?
Are
Mars
these
bar.
ethically grown cocoa beans?
Where were these sourced
Yeah,
exactly?
right.
I actually there was an article that I was reading about some of the Marvel villains, and of course he was on there because of this portrayal where people are actually behind him,
Mhm.
right purpose,
Mhm.
wrong way to go about it, and likened T'Challa and Killmonger to Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X.
Mm.
Yeah.
That
Same
may
thing they do with Xavier and Magneto, who technically were literally based on them.
Right.
that
Yeah.
could have been a decision that Ryan Coogler made when making this movie, but instead of making it so obvious, like
Magneto and Xavier.
Magneto and Xavier, it was kind of subtle. It wasn't really that subtle, but it was subtle enough. Black Panther, the movie, was riddled with so much controversy, not just for its success, but just for the movie. I don't know if you guys remember, there were people who were literally saying they were going to try and sabotage the movie.
Yep.
And make it do bad, when in actuality it's the second best grossing film next to Avatar. We've seen Avatar already. It's Ferngully and other films, but whatever.
I've never seen Avatar. Ever.
I'm tired of you.
It's going to be back in the movie theaters sometime in September. You might want to go check it out.
Uh,
I'll say,
You don't
I
want to watch
watched Ferngully.
Ferngully /
Avatar?
Pocahontas.
nah. I got Black Panther on Blu-ray. I'm good. But yeah, this movie was amazing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So yes, this is my number one. This guy, this is that villain that I could literally see myself falling in line behind. Like, yo, I'm down with the cause. Let's do this. And then my number two. This is more so the character is a good character, but this is more so for the person that portrayed him and how well they portrayed him.
Ooh.
And that is Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. D'Onofrio knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
The way he would just go from that. Oh, look, no, I'm just a businessman doing my slam your skull through my desk, and no, I'm just doing business. That's all we're doing. No, just business. I'm like, bro, the dichotomy of how you just switch that, and you could see when that rage would just click. He would just he would sit there, and you'd see him try. No, I don't want the rage. I don't want the. Yeah, I guess we're going with the rage today. We're gonna smash somebody's skull, and that's it. He played this character so well, and the way he was written is how you would see him written in the Spider-Man comics, where he's just like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing. You can't prove it, but guess what? I'm gonna tell you about it. You still can't prove it. Now what? Everyone knows. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Until you get Aunt May shot, and then your world comes to an end. And man, that scene in that comic, yeah. If you don't know, there's a scene in a Spider-Man comic arc where Kingpin learns who Peter is. He goes after Peter. He misses Peter and hits Aunt May. This is the day that Kingpin learned the hard way that Doc Ock did. Peter pulls his punches hard, hard. And he went to prison. Dropped in on the middle of the yard, and all the prisoners like, "Oh, Spider-Man, what are you going?" He came out of the suit like, "Nah, this is Peter Parker right here, right now. Not Spider-Man. You went after my aunt. I'm letting you know, I can end you." And Kingpin, of course, you can't do nothing. Yeah, Peter slapped him before. Then he shoved his web shooter in his throat. He's like, "All I got to do is squeeze the trigger. You don't breathe. You die.
Yep.
You can't stop me."
He effed him up in that
messing
comic.
with me and my family.
Yep.
But dude, that was one of the best scenes in comics that I had read. I was like, oh my god, they pissed Peter off.
It's interesting you chose that, because one of the best moments for me is when he went against Iron Man in prison, and he was petty, and he messed up Iron Man's plans. I think for like some watches Iron Man said. It was interesting. It was like a chess move. But I think the portrayal of Kingpin isn't that he's just some big guy with power. He's a calculative, he's devious, he's just as intelligent as some of the other villains, if not all the villains, and he doesn't necessarily have quote unquote superpowers. He has influence, and that's how dangerous he is.
Exactly, because
nowadays that is a superpower.
Yeah,
100%.
Right, because he's like, I got these followers, and they're loyal to me because I'm loyal to them,
Man
and
would
I
be
treat them
leading
well.
TikTok all day.
Word, do you think he has like over 20 million followers on TikTok?
If he had a TikTok, he would.
He would, exactly.
Yep.
He just be sitting there just like this. You know, it's like some people say some things about me that aren't true. I'm a businessman that some others decided that I was going to take the fall for the things they did.
While he's got the Lizzo song in the background, I need a woman to pump me up.
Exactly.
In a minute, I'm Anita.
Man, a woman to pump me up. Yeah, but
I
his
lost
portrayal
Mayhem.
and the character that he is just a great character. He's like, I just enjoy him. And his run on Daredevil, super. Hawkeye was less so, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best it could be. I don't mind him on Hawkeye. It was all right.
I like this scene in The Office better than the final scenes with him.
Fair enough.
Yes. I will agree with that. And then my last one, literally, I'm just here to piss people off with my last one. Because, you know, I haven't upset anyone yet. And what do you know? Nah, I'm lying. It's not him. It's Sylvie. Hey, look at Sylvie. Because this person was so petty, they broke multiple universes with their pettiness.
I mean,
she was like, I can live this life again. I hate this life. Or I can kill you, mess up everything, and maybe get something different. Yeah, I'm going to kill you. Did you not hear the part of the universe is going to splinter if you kill him? Didn't care. Stabbed him anyway.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Yes.
This is true. And she's one of them. And you thought she was going to have a redemptive arc throughout the series. Like, oh, look, they're getting everything is just, going better. And never do what again?
Never do what? What did we do? There's too many things you can't. It's too general. What did we do?
I think my Lizzo comment.
I'm personally still stuck on the eyeglasses. I mean, we have some crazy props on this show. I mean, again,
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I was asked to wear these on the next show, so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna rock them, and I'm gonna do it well.
And so you are. Snap.
That's right,
Bergie, and I'm guessing that's Lizzo.
Yep.
Yes,
I think it was in the minute. I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, no one wants to see that. I get it. I understand.
I disagree.
I mean,
that video on TikTok has no views. I don't know why.
Put them in a leotard.
Give the people what they want.
Give them what they want. Exactly. Yes, I like her because she did have a crap life of running from the TVA, and she's like, I'm just gonna take it out on everybody, and that's what petty people do. It's like, this is my goal of being petty. I'm gonna go do this goal of being petty. The world's gonna end, kind of, sort of, but not. But the universe is gonna splinter. Not my problem. I'm out.
We all wanted beer.
Beer is good. But yeah, so I chose Sylvie for that reason. You thought she was gonna turn good, like, oh look, the Lokis are gonna get along. Nah, she just chucked the other Loki out the window and stabbed this dude in the chest to splinter everything. And it was great because if you line certain movies up, they have them set to where certain things are happening. Like, was it WandaVision or something where you can tell or something happens in the other show or movie, and that's when that pause stops and you see him stop and look up, and he's like, now we're in that zone where I don't know what's going to happen. Either we're going to go back on the path or it's all going down the drain.
Listen,
where are we going?
And that's on trauma.
I still want to know what happened to the White Vision. I think this was a great. I think this was a great list. I think this was a great villain that you chose because I think we can all agree that Loki was probably the best MCU series as of late. It's been pretty set up. I understand, Kat, you don't agree with me. That's fine, but it's at least top 3. The setups are great. We're looking forward to seeing what happens in the season 2. Owen Wilson. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I did not expect that from you. Wow.
No, right?
You kind of killed it.
Yes.
We're gonna move forward, and we're definitely gonna choose. Thank you, Reggie, for your list.
Wait! I got one more, just an honorable mention.
You got an honorable mention. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
One honorable mention, and it literally ties into this one because he set everyone up and he knew it was going to happen because it's what he wanted, especially when he was looking like this. Look at this. He knows.
Leave
Somebody's
my
gonna mess
boy.
up.
You know what? Next.
Dang
That
you.
looks like the face of the sibling that just snitched to mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah.
He's like,
And
oh,
is
I know
and
what's
is
about to
looking
happen
forward to the
Let me
whooping that
give
they
a
know is
couple
coming
more.
your
And he's
way.
sitting back going,
Exactly.
"Ooh, you gonna get a butt
Yep.
whooping? Ooh,
Yep,
it's not
yep,
me.
yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah."
Ooh, I know it's about to happen. Show
I'm
me.
the oldest of the 4 kids. Trust me, I know what that looks like for my little siblings.
Yeah.
Trust me, ratted my butt out many a times.
Y'all are traumatized. I can see that. I'm sorry. All right, next on the list. Who would
I'll
we
go.
got?
I'll go.
All right,
Where's this
Virgie.
gonna go?
Who's
All
gonna
right,
be first?
Virgie.
I want to go 3-2-1 with mine.
Of course, you got to go backwards. All right, hold
Right?
on.
That's why I sent it to you that way.
I know, but I was maybe he wants to go in order. So I was like, let
We
me
got to
put him
lead
in
up
order.
to the. We got to lead up to the villain.
All right, lead up to. All right, lead up. Here we go. You ready, sir? You ready?
I'm
gonna
ready.
do it. How'd you get over there?
I was like, that's not the main villain.
Or is it?
Apparently.
Or is it?
Wrong graphic. Wrong
You
graphic.
know
Get it
what?
off.
You know what, Virgie? Goodbye.
Damn. I've been booted in the negative
Oh
zone.
my gosh.
Oh.
It's in the phantom zone now. That's it.
Right?
And here I am back again. Am I number 2?
Yeah,
3 and
number
2.
2, number 3, and number 2, Mr. Mayhem. Now here we go.
Villain number 1. Man, what is going on? You know what? Hold on.
you
He's
broke
just messing
it.
with you now. Just messing with you.
Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let's see if we can work this
All
out.
right.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
hey, there we are. So my guy, honestly, the number 3 villain, I think, is one of the ones that kicked off, if you think about it, with the whole starting of the MCU universe with everything that happens in its Red Skull, because technically he was the first super soldier, super villain for the the world. If you think about it, back in 1940s or so, for this. The man was experimented on by the Cube. He became what he is with the serum and stuff like that. He had ultimate power. This is a man that wanted to dominate the world, and he wasn't falling in play with, under Hitler's regime and everything. He had his own domination.
Right.
So then we get, Captain America, it starts it, and basically we get the start of the Avengers due to this guy here. He started the whole process of what it is. If anybody knows the comics and what he's done, the man was created by Joe Sherman, Jack Kirby, Joe Simon, Jack Kirby. Like, the man is a legend in the villains of the pantheon for Marvel. Just basically a super soldier, if you really think about it, didn't have much more than just what Captain America had, but was an ultimate villain. This man basically wreaked havoc on America, the world, even in outer space for numerous amounts of years. We did see a little bit of a redemption arc with him between Infinity War, kind of Endgame. I don't think we've seen the last of him. I still think he has something to play with everything going on. If they're going to fracture the multiverse being done by, Silva and everything, I think we're going to see him somewhere down the line. I don't know if he's going to be part of a main villain, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're coming out with the Defenders later on. Could he be a villain that they could be fighting or something in a multiverse universe? I think this guy is, in my personal opinion, one of the top 5 all time for the villains for them. This is mine.
Okay. I just want to say that this man managed to get a skin grafted face back in the day. And I want to know who his makeup artist was, because they could work magic apparently. But I agree, like, he was definitely the villain to kind of start up the MCU hierarchy in the sense of villainy, and he's still
Excellent
relevant.
casting too.
Oh,
Hugo Weaving.
Mr. Anderson.
Hugo Weaving,
Yes.
Yep.
fantastic.
I'm
Did
looking-
such a great job.
I'm looking forward to seeing him come back and wreak havoc on the superheroes.
Well, so he is not doing it from there on out. It ended up going to Ross McQuan.
Yes.
Ross McQuan, who played Jesus on Walking Dead and stuff, took over as him as the live action and also the animation for the What If series. So there's rumors he is signed on for something else. I don't know what it is. But I look forward to hopefully him coming back and seeing what he might have.
Okay. Great choice. Can't lie. I agree with number 3.
So that's my number 3. My number 2 is, if you look about it, this is what Ultron should have looked like if they went with the Hank Pym version of him, not the Iron Man version. So originally, if anybody doesn't know that, originally Ultron was basically the police force for the island that they had, like the Supermax that they put into the negative zone. And that's where they used to send everybody for the villains, because they didn't want to have them in the world, say, or, on our planet or our plane of existence, because they could get out and wreak havoc. So originally, this is what they were supposed to look like. So obviously, this is from the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. This is what they were originally look like. Then if you go to the next one, here's what they actually did do for it. This is what they had as James Spader as the character. I'm sorry, when he came out in that introduction, and he was all decapitated, and he was all like hanging. He's like, got no strings on me.
Yes.
That was just amazing, that like he was proving to Stark, like, you're not my master anymore. Like, you're not going to keep me trapped. You're not gonna. So honestly,
a little too close to the sun.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. Like the Icarus thing. But if you think about it, he was formed out of the what is it, the Mind Stone for it. So obviously there was some type of something in there. So that was from the Infinity Stone. So they actually have said that the Infinity Stones had life in them.
Yeah.
So that's proof of it.
Some
that
kind of
this
sentience
man,
in there.
Yeah, some sentient life. So they spawned kind of in a way 2 versions of it. It was him first, and then it became Vision. But this is how he originally, now they made him look in the movies. This man wreaked havoc, and he destroyed like the Avengers almost without doing anything, because he used the Scarlet, Witch and, Quicksilver. But this man had domination. If he could have gotten that ultimate Ultron body with Vision, which we saw in What If, this man could have wreaked havoc, and I don't know if anybody could have touched him.
Yep.
This is the original the comic book version of him. They did a damn good job of getting it spot on for the movies, and Ultron has been a thorn in the Avengers and basically the universe's side for decades in the comic industry. I don't think he's fully gone, and I know that Vision said he wiped him out, but they've always said that in comics and certain lines. He actually wiped out the entire world, and he had the Ultron bots, and they took over the world, and they got by like the Young Avengers, the Kid Avengers, which are all the kids. But this man was definitely one of the greatest villains I think that he had. I mean, he had the access to the internet, the mind, everything.
Yep.
This was just somebody that I think was somebody that was really great. This is my number 2 villain in the multiverse in a way.
One of the favorite things I hear people say about him is this sentient being spent 5 minutes on the internet and decided the world's got to go. Yeah, y'all are wrong. Y'all got to go.
I mean, you spent 5 minutes on TikTok, and I kind of agree with them, though. I'm just saying,
But that was also a running thing for that game, the War Games film with Matthew Broderick. Even back then, you give an artificial intelligence any kind of autonomy, they're like, "Oh yeah, y'all are trash."
Yeah.
Control Alt Delete.
They process information.
Terminator, all of them.
We do. So yeah, of course, definitely. This is a great pick so far. I'm on it. I'm on your list right now.
All right. My number 1 ultimate villain. I'm sorry. This man, the Green Goblin for Spider-Man. This man destroyed Peter Parker.
He
destroyed him on multiple comics, multiple ways that this man did everything. Like in one of the comics, Norman Osborn actually had a child and had daughters that looked like Gwen. And he had a kid, and then basically used that to get to Peter. Like he had clones. Like he destroyed Peter on multiple levels, whether it was just not even just the physical level, the mental capacity that this man had. I still think hands down one of my all-time favorite villains. And look at what he was able to accomplish in the first Spider-Man movie. And he came back and was in Far From Home, and he destroyed Peter. He killed Aunt May. Spoiler if you hadn't seen the movie, I'm sorry, you should have seen it by now.
Spoiler.
He killed Aunt May, and I remember like, wow, in the movie theater, I was like, yo, Peter's gonna murder this dude. He is done. Like Peter is gonna murder him. Like he's lucky he got away. But and I like the way the original costume was and the way Norman played it. And you got William Dafoe. You ain't tell me that man is not the most perfect villain to play. Like seriously, you're crazy. That man is a villain all day. Just look up an image of him laughing. Come
One
on.
thing that Marvel does, well, there's several things that Marvel does really well, but they cast these people with these
Yes.
distinctive voices,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't separate the character from the voice after that. That's how good they are. They leave
Yep.
like an indelible mark. And this is just like all three of your picks. Those voices elevated, because those costumes, let's be honest, as great as they look, they are a little ridiculous because they're comic books, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you put a voice that just elevates it, and even like James Spader as Ultron, there was something like elegant about him. And Hugo Weaving with Red Skull, these are fantastic picks. But yeah, the casting for these really is what sells it, because look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
The
and
wrong
they,
person's voice, it would have been ridiculous.
yeah, I mean, you know, if
Really.
you'd gotten somebody, I'm not saying that they would have, but like, what if they screwed up and got somebody like a Tom Hanks in this? It's like, dude, no,
Right.
like bad
Ooh,
casting here.
Like Tim
No.
Allen as
Yeah. You know,
voice.
great voice for,
No shade for Tim Allen. He's a
Buzz
great Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, but not as this. And to see this character and what he was able to accomplish in that first movie, and then take over the second movie and basically being the ultimate villain in No Way Home, where hell, even his own villain, counterparts wanted to kick his butt.
Right.
Like that just should tell you how evil he was. And the way you saw that in the movie where his Peter sense kicked in, he was like, that pesky Peter sense. Like you watched the light bulb turn on from good to evil, just like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. This man, William Dafoe, is a great actor and a phenomenal character. And obviously we know his character is done in this verse with like Tom Holland and whatnot, but who's to say he doesn't come back or something in something else somewhere down the road, something else.
I don't
Maybe
know.
they
An
do
animated.
Maybe
Yeah.
animated, yeah. But if live action, I think he's always going to be a Green Goblin.
Yeah.
He's just too good. Like I remember in the first, one of the best scenes that for me solidified him as Green Goblin is I think he just finished fighting Spider-Man for the first time in that burning building, and then he's turning
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, he's turning back into Norman Osborn in the elevator, and you see him visibly go through a transformation in the elevator, and I'm just like, that is amazing. Like they added that, they left that in. I think that was
for him to be so talented to do a scene like that. That is a little bit over the top, and not feel over the top. It's a testament to the quality of the actor there.
Right.
Solid casting, great choices, Bridgie.
Yes.
And I loved how they changed the costume up from the last movie to the newest movie.
Yeah.
Like they added that where he had that like hobgoblin style with the hood and stuff like that.
Right.
Absolutely amazing job. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. This is my ultimate villain. If I'm going Marvel, this is it. If we go Star Wars, it's Vader. I'm sorry. Those are these are my two ultimate villains in all time. If you look,
it's not Jar Jar.
Nah, I met him.
He should have been a
Yeah, he
Sith.
was.
He should have been a Sith. Yes.
He was a loving light, Ahmed Best.
Yes, Ahmad Best was a loving light.
Yeah.
My honorable mention happens to be one of the ones that Reggie used in his pick, and this is Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. This is how I remember seeing Wilson Fisk as from the comic version. You see a guy that's just a mountain of a man. He's just bigger than every guy. But he is like what Reggie was saying. This man was more intelligent, more cunning, but he never came off that way. Like he just knew it. Like he'd come out and lay down his plans. Here's everything I'm going to do. Here's everything I've done. You can't prove shit. And he knew it. No one could prove it. This man wreaked havoc for the Defenders, Daredevil, Spider-Man. He created the Spider Slayers with Smythe. This guy is like one of the ultimate, and I love to see what they're going to do with him going forward. With Vincent D'Onofrio, which I think is a great pick to play him. I love I took the two photos here. It's Daredevil, and then he's like, I was on Hawaiian vacation. He pulled me into this shit. Like, what the hell? But look at this man. Like,
I was sipping Mai Tais with Vanessa.
Yeah, like this man is perfect, and I don't believe his run is done. We're definitely getting him back in Echo. I'd love to see what other storylines they could do. If their Marvel is going to stay true to, they want to do street level type stories with like some of their street level heroes and villains. This is one of the ones that's going to turn the tide on villains, and people are going to root for these guys even more. Because I think he's going to be a great one for Echo and this is off the comic book. This is the comic book version. The other one was one of the video game cartoon versions. Okay. This is the comic version, Wilson Fisk. Fantastic character.
I would love to see Vincent D'Onofrio to be in one of the plays that are put on in the Marvel universe in which he plays Thor as a callback to Adventures in Babysitting.
Yes.
Hey, I got a poster being made up for Adventures in Babysitting, and I'm having him sign that. Like I want him sign it because we have him and we have Keith Coogan coming to Rhode
Yes,
Island.
and I love me some Keith Coogan.
Yep.
I
getting
have-
that signed by him.
I have a signed plate from him.
Yeah, I think everybody
The
did.
dishes are done, dude.
But those are mine. Those are my heroes. I'm sorry, my villains. Those are my guys that I think are the best. They are
Freudian
should be
slip
heroes.
there.
I mean,
heroes.
you're heroes, sir.
I mean,
Sir,
for
is there
both
something
of
you'd like
you.
to tell us?
Nothing.
You can't speak, Mr. Eric Killmonger was my best friend. Hey, Eric. Do we have any snacks in the back?
Look, I'm just saying, I like snacks.
Right?
Snacks are
I
good,
think
bro.
it's fair to have Lady Sid and I, Miss Cat, go next and tell us what her villains, maybe heroes, were. 'cause
I
looking
want
at
to
you-
preface this by saying, what makes a villain?
Oh,
There are
But we get
people.
philosophical now.
Yeah,
All right.
a little bit, because there are so many, and I knew Killmonger was going to get picked. I knew Kingpin was going to get picked. There are certain ones that we know that are so iconic that there's no way that they couldn't make a regular list. I decided to go rogue as the lone female voice on the show, except when Mayhem is role playing. I need to collect myself for a minute. After
no,
that one.
you're great on that. You're fine.
I decided that I would choose all women.
Ah,
And when I went through the list of all the women, I realized that there were a lot of women villains in these shows in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that really didn't get the greatest of storylines. So those are going to be reserved for my honorable mentions. But we already got a sneak peek, but you can go ahead and put her back up. I chose Agent 13, aka the Power Broker. She started off, and I'm going to stay away from the comic version. I'm sticking with the cinematic version of her. She was
Okay.
brought in as supposed to be the new love interest for Captain America, as she was in the comics. And of course, everybody was like, hell nah, Peggy Carter or bust.
Yep.
Right?
And so in writing her out of the story, they kind of abandoned her. And this is kind of like Star Trek with the Wrath of Khan. You just abandon these people. You leave them out on their own. And then all of a sudden, when you come back thinking like y'all are cool, you're not. And she had everybody fooled.
Mhm.
Well, maybe not everybody. Some people cottoned on to what was going on a little bit further into the show, but she wasn't supposed to be a villain. But because they literally abandoned her as somebody that was running from S.H.I.E.L.D. for bailing them out, they left her to her own devices, and then they called her up for favors. She's a villain. She's a great villain, but is it really her fault? Is it really her fault?
I mean, she chose
misunderstood.
to be a villain. Oh, okay.
She did what she had to do to survive.
Yes.
She did what she had to do to survive, because again,
Mhm.
this is like putting a police officer in jail with the prisoners for something that they didn't do.
But here's the crazy part. I feel she could have definitely came back and be like, listen, I have resources and such. Welcome me back. And to be fair, I'm gonna let you speak because I definitely want to hear what you have to say. I think that we haven't seen the last of her. I know they wrote her out.
Oh no,
right now.
absolutely. Absolutely not. Her story isn't done.
Yeah,
I for sure don't believe that her story is done.
She's going to show up somewhere down the line. I think she might be part of the Defenders. I think Valentina lady might try
I
to
do feel that
incorporate her.
she's going to be getting some kind of redemption arc because she's owed it. She definitely is owed it. But in the show, she did mention that she tried to get help from them. And then, of course, there was a 5-year gap where a bunch of them disappeared. But she tried to reach out because they promised her that they would take care of her, and they didn't.
Right.
And so she had to kind of claw her way to whatever. And as a woman alone, where people who know that she's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., that puts a target on her back. So the only way to protect yourself is to become the biggest bully in the play yard. And somewhere along the line, she started resenting the people who were supposed to help her and didn't. They didn't all disappear.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Captain America was there. Like the original Avengers were the only ones that didn't get snapped. And not a single one of them took care of her. Went looking for her, took care of her, got her straightened out with the government and everything because she was in trouble for helping them.
To play devil's advocate here, how do they know she was still around
She tried to reach out. She said
She reached out to them.
She
during
tried
the
to reach
blip
out.
the whole time?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many times.
yeah.
I don't know how many times.
Hey guys, it's me.
However,
Left one voicemail. That's it.
they could have gone looking for her.
Yeah.
Well, but I think
And
we've
that
established Mhm.
that solely, I think, is a responsibility of Captain America more than anyone because he was the one that she was involved with the most. It was her and Falcon were the two that she dealt with the most. So they knew that she was out there, and they knew that she was on the run for helping them.
But
They should have done
understand,
better with her.
If
No.
you're not gang, you're not gang. If you're not part of the crew, goodbye to
Well,
you.
and then so they shouldn't have expected loyalty back from her. She did what she had to do.
Fair enough.
And I thought that was a great turn for her. That was actually the best thing that they could have done for her character, other than just putting her into oblivion with that awkward ass kiss. That's probably one of the worst kisses in all of
He
them.
couldn't have the great auntie.
No.
The great niece.
Great niece.
Great niece.
That was icky.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Icky. All right.
Don't know what it happened. Y'all are weird.
It's gross. It's gross.
I
Here
actually
is my
wanted to put
number
her
2.
on my list. I really did, but I was like, no.
Well, I told you that mine were going to be a little bit controversial. This is another one. She has suffered through a lot of trauma, so people, I think, give her a lot of sympathy. But this one to me, especially when she's talking about double standards, if she had not made friends with some of them, would they have been as forgiving of what she did in WandaVision and some of the other things that she got up to? And even then, Doctor Strange has nothing but empathy for her at the end, when she was a cold-blooded killer, willing to kill herself in another universe to take over these kids that were not technically hers. Straight up villain to me. I love to see her powerful. I understand that she's had a lot of trauma in her life, having to kill Vision and then it to be for nothing. But no, she's the villain of the story, and her feeling bad at the end of WandaVision and then again at the Multiverse of Madness is not enough of a redemption for me. No, you still need to have the consequences of your actions, and she has not yet. She has not.
Can we just
especially
say
after WandaVision?
she was perfect cast for this, and the
Oh,
outfits that they
absolutely.
did, the amazing.
Especially when
such a
she
great
had
job.
the
Dark
when
Hole?
she had the
The
no,
Dark Hole?
she was able to choose her outfit, be part of the making of her outfit.
Yes.
Yes.
I was getting ready to say that. Go ahead.
I couldn't articulate it, but once she was in charge of her own costume, this is what we got, and that's fucking beautiful.
Oh,
And also the way that she works her fingers is yeah, I love that.
absolutely incredible.
It's so integral to the part, but none of that takes away from the fact that this chick is a villain.
You
She
know,
is a villain.
I think she's misguided. First of all, I do want to say shout out to her because she definitely fought with the producers and the directors about her costume of choice. She
And
didn't
you
want
see,
okay.
go ahead.
She didn't want it to be too sexual. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of take away from who the character was, which was amazing. And if you think about it, a lot of times too, she's dressed not as the Scarlet Witch, but she's in plain clothes too, with the big trench coat and
She's
whatnot.
not sexualized the way that they did Black Widow.
Especially in the comics.
Jeans and a t-shirt there, so the mom jeans. I thought she looked hot as hell. Come on.
And the cutout that you see here in the middle of her costume, right at the neckline, that is a detail because that's the stone where Vision had it there. And that was a conscious choice that they made. And these attention to detail is beautiful. Now, she's another one that kind of got abandoned in her trauma. Yes, I know that she was snapped. So when she came back, it is to her right after she's watched Vision die twice, once at her own hand.
Right.
And then after that, they abandoned her too. Do they not do therapy?
Apparently, the Avengers
do they not
therapy on their Medicare?
After she took over an entire
Tony Stark didn't
village
offer it.
and conjured up a Vision and these kids, they let her just go to they knew where she was, on some random farm growing fake apple trees where she was playing with the magic spell book. There is no due diligence in S.H.I.E.L.D.
And that's the thing. If
no
you
group
look
therapy.
during that, while she was the villain there, the whole thing, none of the heroes came.
No.
They sent Darcy and the wannabe magician, and they send in photon in a way, and she gets her powers. Other than that, there was no real superheroes that came running for her, but they wanted to put Doctor Strange, but then they didn't because they didn't want her being helped out by a man. So they wanted her to basically solve her own problems and figure it out.
And I don't mind so much that they made that decision. Like, well, we don't want it to be like some guy coming in White Knighting and doing that. Yep. But there was a way that they could have had the Avengers come in and at least just try to reason with her without, and let her come to her own conclusions. I just feel like, in this sense, especially with the Disneyfying it at the end of Multiverse of Madness and even WandaVision, it was like the end of a Family Matters episode where, like, what did you learn? And and then she doesn't die. I don't believe that she's dead with that whole collapsing of the thing. Mm-hmm. But at no point is anyone having her face the consequences of her actions. And to me, her using her trauma as an excuse to hurt and kill people is not good enough, because for other people it's unforgivable, but for her she's getting a pass, and I'm not 100% sure seeing why, but that's why I picked her as a villain. But I know that she also is going to be getting a redemption.
I don't know. I don't think I consider her a villain. She came, first of all, it's because of her. We got Agatha all along that song. It was Agatha all along.
Well, it's because of Agatha that we got her.
That was the real villain. That song.
That song is the real villain. I'll agree with
no,
that.
it's not. It's amazing. I think, you know what? I agree that nobody reached out to her, and that's definitely noteworthy. Avengers, because if you're gang, you need therapy.
She was gang.
Well, and speaking of was saying, Captain America had his therapy groups for people that got snapped.
She wanted to be all alone. Remember, she was it Jersey? She went to Jersey and was like, I'm chilling. And you know what? I didn't mind her going
Jersey.
I didn't mind right.
Hey, it is the Garden State.
Allegedly. So I don't mind her.
Armpit of America.
Oh my
Stop
God.
that right now. I apologize on behalf of all the Jersey people.
That's right.
Camp Chupacabra.
Camp Cucamonga. Get it right. No
Cucamonga. No, I want a Camp Chupacabra song, please.
That's why I stopped talking. You know what? Let's move on. But
I was going to say one thing. The one great thing about her with her villain arc here was WandaVision. That was the House of M that we'll never, ever see in movie or cartoon form. Because if you read that comic book, she was the villain. She literally said, no more mutants. 4 words, no more mutants. 3 words, sorry. And she wiped out the entire mutant population.
Her attack on the temple, the way that she was coming out of that mirror, how she handled the Illuminati. You cannot tell me she wasn't the villain. And for something that people go through every day, she could have found a universe where the kids were orphaned and gone there. There's no reason for her to attack another version of herself and kill all those people.
It was the Darkhold. It had a hold on her. Before in WandaVision,
the Darkhold
was suffering.
That temple where the original Darkhold spells were written has her statue in it. How do you know that she didn't write the Darkhold herself?
I'll see you in court.
I'm just
my client Wanda is innocent. In the first series, not the
roll the tapes.
We got receipts over here, sir. We got receipts.
We have CVS receipts. Okay, that's how serious these receipts are. You can take those receipts to the moon and back several times.
Shout out to CVS. We need a sponsorship. Thank you.
Okay, and third up, another one.
I'm not hating it. I'm hating it at all.
She is a villain, but is she really?
Right on time.
Bad parenting. Bad parenting.
See, look at that. Already, Marcus Tucker, we're right here, honey. We're right here. She was the big sister. She was the OG. And then Odin was like, fuck that hoe. I want to reboot.
You don't do that around here no
and
more.
Abandon her. Now, after everything Loki did, Odin and Hela were like, not Hela, I'm sorry, Freya were like, it's okay, baby, come home, just come home, come home. They were like, and then they wonder why she came. And you can't tell me in that scene where he threw Mjolnir and she just grabbed it and was like, that was an amazing.
That's the mean older sister that's about to whoop her siblings' butts.
This is the older sister that's been carrying generational trauma on her back for far too long.
Oh, is this your favorite toy?
And
Did
Oh,
Dad
yeah.
get this
and
for
is
you?
looking at the
No.
golden child siblings and being like, you know what? I've had enough. That's
Mhm.
it.
Facts.
If I can't come home, there ain't gonna be no home for nobody.
I hear that.
That's like a flip the table move, except she flipped the damn planet. Her arc again, she's the villain, but they made her that way. I have sympathy for this. I have sympathy for all three of them, but for Hela especially. He really tried to erase her entire existence
Yeah.
because he wanted to give himself a redemption arc. Speaking about Odin and his thank you for getting those extra pictures because I only gave him one each. This is
Yes, you
fantastic.
did. That's okay.
Thank you for doing the extra credit for me. um so he wanted to give himself a reboot and he literally cast her aside and then they get surprised that this is what they get. Hell hath no fury and she's literally Hela. I thought she was a fantastic villain. She looked amazing in that suit. Excellent
Yes.
casting. Kate Blanchett. She can be an elf. She can be the
Mhm.
harbinger of doom. Whatever it is, she's amazing.
Yes.
Her with
mean-
black hair and that makeup, that was a lot of bi panic going on. I'll tell you what.
This was the emo girl in the 90s right here. That's what she was. I loved it. I think this is a great pick for what you were saying. Her arc, and think about it. The only reason that she's technically dead is because Ragnarok came about.
Right.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Ragnarok, there was no way to stop her.
She was a skater boy. To see you later.
And
boy.
she was willing to take that. Like at this point, death is a better option than living how she was living before.
I hear that.
But she was definitely the three things that all these women that I chose have in common is trauma and
Mhm.
being left alone in that trauma. And Marvel, your universe needs some therapy.
Not some. It needs all.
But
But the only people that addressed that in a realistic way was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
But that goes to show you, like, a lot of villains are made out of trauma, and that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
in regular comic books.
Well,
altogether,
even
you
like
know?
with Thanos, which no one has named as of yet, because we still
That's
have
too
Mayhem's
easy.
pick. There were people that are like, he's out of line, but I get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Like humanity is, we are killing our planet, killing each other, and doing all of these awful things. If we reduced our carbon footprint by 50%, the whales would come back to New York.
But the logic is, I'm going to snap half of the universe out, and then what happens after that?
Indiscriminate.
And what happens? They're going to make the same people over time again. So you're going to snap again?
But you know what's so funny to me
retired.
is that like he
I did my job.
snapped all of the universe in half, right? Because it wasn't just us that he did it to. That's why
Yeah.
he needed all of them so that he could do it in one fell swoop. He took a whole ass planet for himself. So if there was a whole ass empty planet, why not bring some people there?
That's a
If
hell of a
there's one
retirement home.
empty planet, I'm sure there are many empty planets that you could have relocated.
Or
people, but
made.
nah, you went
Well,
straight to violence. And then for my honorable mentions, I do not have graphics for this because it is a group of women. Typhoid in Elektra,
Ooh.
Lady Deathstrike in the X-Men films.
Okay.
I'm sorry I forgot her name, but she was in Blade Trinity, one of the vampire queens. These are characters in their respective universes that are powerful, amazing, top-notch villains, but they didn't get the greatest representation in their live action films. And then for the only true villain, one that walked into the villainy with open arms, Vanessa Fisk, Wilson's Ride or Die.
Mm.
There was no trauma in this. She was like, I'm not about this art dealer life. Let me know all the bad things that you're about to do. I'm going to ride with you till the end.
They played Monopoly and tore the family apart. Go away. Go away, Mia. Go away.
I would try, like, there are other games that I think that bring out more violence in people, but Monopoly is definitely.
Oh, Monopoly
One
is the
of
one
the
that breaks up
controversial.
families. Come on now.
Monopoly
Yes,
and
yes,
Spades.
There's
it does.
another one too, but I can't remember what it's
Uno.
Spades, the card game.
Spades, Uno.
Uno will definitely do it.
Dominoes
Oh,
Yeah.
in the wrong people's hands.
trauma.
Hell, good game of Goldfish will break up a family too.
So
Who
those are
knows?
my controversial lady
Thank-
picks.
Thank you very much for that.
You're
I thought
very
that was
welcome.
awesome.
Yeah.
we're getting close to the end time, so let's just run through this. Two of mine were actually said. So let's start off with number 3. Are we ready? Are we
Number
ready?
3.
Ready?
Why you
ready?
got put it? Yeah, I put them in order that you sent them.
Yes, I said 1, 2, and 3. We're going from 3, 2, 1.
Let me go to the end. All right, I'm at the end.
All right. Bring it up on the screen who the third villain is, and it better not be me this time. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Keaton as the Vulture. First he was Batman, and then he was a flying whatever that is.
Birdman.
A vulture?
So
Was he a flying vulture?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Aerodynamically, he had help. He had help. Listen, I think when we all knew and saw him in was it Homecoming, we were excited, but we were not prepared for the level of acting that this man had for us. I would argue that we all sympathize with him. He literally was working a legit 9 to 5, was taking over, was not given a great package to retire on, and he was like, "Good luck." But meanwhile, he had access to all this technology. I kind of sided with Vulture. Adrian Toomes. His costume was amazing. His character development just overall was amazing. He wasn't a hardcore villain, although he did attempt to drop Peter from I don't know,
Stratosphere.
at Coney Island. But he gave him a chance, and he was like, "I know who you are," and I love the fact that he even protected Peter in jail to an extent. He's like, "Nah, that man is mine. That hero is mine." I thought that was amazing. Yet again, with the Spider-Verse, as far as Sony and Marvel coming together, they did an amazing job of making their villains more amazing than the comics, more than just one-dimensional and actual relatable. Because we saw that with Spider-Man Far From Home with Mysterio. I'm pretty sure, even though Jake is a great actor, nobody saw him being that great and making Mysterio that perfect, damn near.
And making him a main villain of an entire movie. Same thing with this guy being the main villain of this entire movie. These are two the B-lister style of Spider-Man's rogue galleries.
Yep.
So I thought they did a great job with this. I think it's a great pick.
Thank you. Let's move on, please, to the next one. Number 2 was Ultron. Listen, okay, people will come after me and say, but Captain America tried to choke a robot. That's true.
That was still funny.
That man was desperate, okay? Because Iron Man betrayed them all and lied to them, and hence Ultron was formed. James Spader, you beautiful, beautiful man. You beautiful man. Yet again, I've talked about this before. He's such a great and talented actor that he was not necessarily on screen. They may have done the green screen where they showed his face and facial expressions. This was all voice acting. And he did this. He did Ultron. I can't wait. Hopefully, he comes back and gets another repeat, and we can get even better Ultron. This was just amazing. Bergie went over everything that Ultron was about, so I'm not going to spend too much on it. Oh my god, that picture is just amazing. Like the way he came out, the way he addressed the Avengers, his logic to an extent was just, you know what? You are kind of right. I kind of believe in you. You're just a little hardcore for me. Can we not just talk about this? I think voice acting wise, James Spader killed it, and it made me feel for Ultron in a way that who have been reading comics, have never felt before. Because I would argue that they've always made Voltron egotistical, just maniacal maniac, or just psychopath of sorts that wants to kill the Avengers and then kill the world. This man is like, nah, you guys are killing yourself. I'm trying to make the universe a better place. Fair. Fair. Yeah. Questions, thoughts, comments before I move on? Oh, that's an amazing picture.
No, I agree, dude. The voice acting in this was just phenomenal. It's just, yeah, that is the way Ultron should have been on the big screen. He's like, oh, hey, and I love that little bit of sass they gave him. He's like, oh, hey, guess what? You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Slice your arm off. Oh no, what happened? I've unhanded you. I'm like, bruh, you cannot clown the guy whose arm you just cut off.
That's James Spader for you, number one. Number two, the only thing I will say is with the Ultron movie, it kind of flew on, his performance was really strong, but the movie itself kind of flew under the radar. It didn't do as well as some of the other movies.
Well, the movie was a little bit weaker,
yes,
than their others, but not because of him, in spite of him.
Right. 100%. I agree. Let me go to my last one, please. Help.
Ah, yeah.
Killmonger was gonna come up. I knew that the Kingpin was
Look
gonna
at that
come up,
costume. Jesus Christ.
but when this woman transformed into Hela, with every time, the category is villain. Villain.
Second pose.
Villain. She killed it. Kate, I know you're watching this. I know this is gonna come up. You killed it. You know you killed it. I mean, she must have walked out there and just been like, I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait to see it. It was just amazing. I make a joke on Thor and how he's always trying to feel worthy and all that great stuff. She totally emasculated him in every sort of way. And rightfully so.
Them both.
I wasn't really counting Loki. I mean, but all right, fine.
Loki was there.
I want to see somebody do that edit of her doing this to Beyonce's Alien Superstar.
You won't break my soul.
No category.
Yeah.
That
would make sense.
Anyway, go ahead.
No, I think the only thing that I'm really, really messed up about is I think we needed more Hela.
I do. I agree.
Needed more Hela, honestly.
I agree.
I mean, she was great for the screen time and for the motivation that she had. But can you imagine like another movie where she's like, you know what? I'm going to play with you guys in such a way that you guys are going to wish you were dead. And it's for revenge. But I'm going to put it in this all convoluted story and it's going to be great.
Well, with the multiverse, all things are possible. I would love to see her come back and them actually need her for something. But another thing that came out from this film that I thought was hilarious is how, Loki's the adopted one and Thor's like the golden retriever son, the golden child.
Yeah.
And then you have Hela and you're like, wait, well, put Hela and Loki together. They're both wearing green and black. They both are pale as with black hair.
Like,
are we sure? Are we sure that Loki's the adopted one and not Thor?
Right?
It seems that Daddy stepped out a little on the milkmaid.
Odin?
Much like Zeus.
Odin definitely did.
Much like Zeus.
Zeus with the little...
Oh, the thing with the skirt and that was
amazing.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Any honorable mentions for you today, Mayhem?
No, because honestly, Marvel has a lot of great villains, and I figured you guys would do it. Shout out to you guys with the honorable mentions. Marvel has done some really great work with some of the villains. The only problem right now is stop killing off your villains.
Right?
I hear you. Multiverse, you can bring them back. Fine, we can restore. Stop killing off your villains. Granted, maybe Kate Blanchett doesn't want to come back as Hela, but whoever picks up the mantle, you have a lot. You better come with it. You know what I'm saying? James Spader as Ultron, you better come with it. I just
feel like if you have Kate Blanchett, don't let her go.
No.
Give that woman the check
at any cost.
Cut
you
the
do
check.
Whatever she says.
Look at a lot of the casting that Marvel has done with a lot of their characters, like been perfect. Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, perfect.
They're indistinguishable. The two are indistinguishable.
Yeah, like Chris Evans as Captain America, great. Hiddleston as Loki, phenomenal. You look at some of the ones like you said, Spader is the voice, not even the man on screen, just his voice. Iconic.
Yep.
And just made that character. To Kate Blanchett as Hela. Hell, even Anthony Hopkins as Odin. They knocked it out of the park with a lot of their casting. The only one I've always had an issue with their casting, I thought was Black Widow. Didn't strike me as the Black Widow I wanted from the comic book, but she came into her own in that character and made it her character, and she did a great job with it as it went on.
By the time she matured into the role, they didn't have much for her to do. Once they moved away from her as just like the sexy one,
right?
Even her abilities that they try to play up in the first few movies of being able to read and manipulate people, by the end was not even a part of her.
She was basically a negotiator at the end, in a way. That was horrible.
Which is funny because, like, as the actress, she's a really great actress. She's obviously done. Oh my god, I keep calling it the Powder movie, but it's not. Lucy, right?
Yep.
Which was amazing, I thought. And then she also did her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
Now
that was a good one.
I'm sorry, and she wasn't on screen; she was voice acting, mind you. But nonetheless, if you are acting alongside Joaquin Phoenix, you've got your work cut out for you. That man is serious about his craft. I don't care what other people have to say about his personal life, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Leave him alone. If he's gone through some stuff, he's gone through some stuff. But that man is a great and talented actor. So going with him, you got to bring it. You can't say she can't act when she literally did, I argue, a classic movie called Her.
I sincerely feel that she was originally cast because she is still a beautiful woman, and they wanted a specific look. And they didn't write for her. They wrote a Black Widow character and cast her in it. And by the end, they were writing for her, which is a credit to her acting, but it made Black Widow herself like a side character in the end. And she should have been a main character all along, which was a beef that I've brought up before with their female-driven stuff. The main characters become the side characters or vehicles for other things. But everyone... I'm very proud of all our choices. I don't disagree with anyone.
I think this is probably one of the one times we can all sit there and go, yo, great choices all the way around. Yeah. Even Mayhem's not hating on anybody's really.
Right. Boo, Iron Man.
Iron Man is the true villain of the Marvel Cinematic
I wanted to literally put a joke in
there and
go,
no, seriously.
I wanted to put a joke in there. I was going to put one of them, the greatest villains was the Avengers themselves.
Listen, there's a theory.
Well, that's why, like, you have these heroes that are, when you watch it again with a different viewpoint, which ones are the heroes and which ones are the villains?
Listen, there's a theory that when he created Barf, it altered his mind into more villainy than he admits. And to be fair, S.H.I.E.L.D. was what? Infiltrated by Hydra. Like, come on. Ladies and gentlemen.
That elevator scene before we start. Does anyone want to get off?
Right.
But I think the saying is one man's hero is another man's terrorist.
Yeah. Well,
and that's very true because they touched up on it. Like the heroes come in, they blow up these cities without a care for anything. So for those people that it affects, they're not the heroes. And the people that are left to deal with the aftermath of these things, they're definitely not the heroes. So I think the argument could be made either way, except for Iron Man. He's definitely the villain of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He started all of this because he didn't rein himself in.
Right.
I always thought he was the smartest man in the room.
I know I would like to see this, and I don't think it'll ever be done, but I would like a what if cartoon episode or even a TV series of the people that clean up the job sites after the villains fights and everything like that.
So you want an Adrian Toomes, not Vulture show?
Yeah.
There was
but I wanted
it
like I want it like a comedy. It's got to be a comedy. Like they got to joke around. You have some of the superheroes walk by like, oh, I left my something, and they go pick it up, and it's covered in like, you know, like not saying brain guts, but
there
like
was
it's
a TV
covered in
show.
an Ultron episode like of that. Like I think that'd be hilarious. I think
it was called. Do you remember the show Powerless with Alan Tudyk and
but
Vanessa
that was
Hudgens?
more towards Batman.
Well, it was DC, but it was
DC version.
The company that they work for were the ones that came up with inventions to protect the public from the aftermath of like these superhero fights, like umbrellas that could block concrete from like
Alan
from
Tudyk
buildings being distorted.
He was like cousin with Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he was Bruce Wayne's cousin.
Yeah.
Great show.
That it was funny. Didn't last, I think, more than
it only lasted a season, but I think it just they should have stuck with it because
they were.
It would have been good.
Alan
Tudyk always is, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to wrap up. The manager is telling me we gotta go. This has been 4-Letter Nerd, a Hyrule Geeks Unlimited production. First, be sure to check out the website, Hyrule Geeks Unlimited. Like Burgie said, we are selling some great content, some great comics from some great artists. You can also find out what our adventures on Comic-Con brought us. Sidebar, Stranger Things. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. It was amazing. Was amazing. Definitely let us know what you thought of our list. You can check out our Facebook group. That's right, we have a Facebook group, Hyrule Geeks Unlimited, and let us know what you think. One of us might be interacting with you, probably me. So go easy on me and my list. We'll see what happens. And then I don't even know how to say this, but goose. I hate you all. Say bye, everybody.
Gang, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Boom! You know what? We need a great like end line. Like this has been 4-Letter Nerd. No? Okay.